Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Mosaic Sparks. Glad that you are here. Let me do a few things in the background just to make sure that I am live on YouTube. So just give me a few as I check that. If there's anyone here that has joined me, if you want to put in the comments for me that you can hear me, want to make sure that you have good audio because in the middle and the background, before anything goes live, there's always going to be some hiccups, and so I had to switch laptops. So the laptop that I normally use is not the one that I'm using today. So I just want to make sure that we are live and you can hear me. So just bear with me as we do a tech check. So in the meantime, happy Saturday, everyone. Happy Saturday. Glad that you are here. If you are watching currently, and if you make any comment, I'll see your comments. But if you're going to come back, if you're coming back and you're watching this on the replay, okay, I do see that we are live. Yes, we are live. We're live. So we are ready to rock and roll. We are ready to get this show started. So if you come back and watch this on the replay, just go ahead and put in hashtag replay. Let us know where you're watching us from. We would love to shout you out as we found out this week that we are now international. Hey. How you doing, Ebony? Glad that you're here this morning with us. Glad that you can join us. So as I said, that we're now international, right? And we would not be international if it wasn't for you. So I want to thank you first of all for that, for tuning in to the channel, one, for your comments, for your likes and your shares. So thank you for that. Hey, Cameron, welcome. Glad that you are here as well. Welcome to the show. So this morning, last week, I should have gone live last week, but didn't. And reason why, because your girl was down. Your girl was in the hospital. I'm not saying this for any sympathy, but your girl was in the hospital. So that's why we didn't go live last week. So that's why we're doing it now. So everything is I'm moving forward and healing. So thank you for any prayers that any of you may do. So this morning, what are we going to talk about? So we're going to talk about publishing. You publishing your manuscript. And if any of you follow me on other channels other than this YouTube channel, last night, one of our newest authors, she is authoring an incredible book, How to Do Business with the Federal Government. And that seems to be something that a lot of people want to do, but they don't know how to. And so last night, her book went number one. She's an Amazon #1 best-selling author in several different categories, and so many different categories was popping off last night. So that is amazing to celebrate that. And so we're under the pre-sale, and the actual manuscript comes out in October. And so if you, I don't have the link. I will, if you follow me, you will see some of my posts. And so you can catch the link there. Her name is Ernest Cummings. So you can go on Amazon and check out her book. And Kiran is also an Amazon best-selling, two-time Amazon best-selling author. Mosaic Inc. helped her publish both of her books. She has a 90-day journal for women, which is absolutely incredible. And she has an affirmation book for children. So check out Karan. And Karan, if you are able to drop your link in the chat, and I can pull it up on screen for others to order your books, that would be great. So we're going to, and we love to highlight our authors. And coming up in the several months, we're going to have different links on our website where we would have links so that our authors can showcase their books. And if you're following Mosaic, but you may not be following them, you can go directly to our website and purchase their books. So those are some things that we will be doing in the future. So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about your book. We're going to talk about you finally getting your words out. So, if you follow anybody else that deals with helping authors with their books, publish their books, you're going to get something very different from me, right? Because I don't believe it's all about the mechanics of publishing a book. I believe it's all about what's going on up here. And so, as we talk about what's going on up here, I've met several women, women that have been writing for decades but has not published. Each and every one of you, you write every day. You send text messages, you send emails, you're writing to someone. So everybody writes every day. But here's the thing: why is it when it comes to our words, our story, anything that's attached to our experience that now we want to put out there, why is it that we're hung up on that? Right. So we're going to go through just a few things to kind of help you with that. So for me, I believe in just write. Anyone that comes to me and they're looking to publish, one of the things that I tell them is just start to write. That is the most important thing. Just start to dump your stuff out. I have a few women that they have some incredible books coming out by the end of the year, so stay tuned to that as you see some women with some incredible stories. We have a book of poems, and in terms of poetry, from Black women, that's a whole different level, right? So we have a book of poetry coming out in January. There's a book on divorce coming out, and we have another one that is a personal journey, personal story. So all of these, it's about writing. But at the end of the day, you have to get over the mindset so that you believe that you can move forward towards your dream as a public successful author, right? So I know, and trust me, I've always had the dream to write a book 20 something years. However, until when I mention it to someone and place a deadline, that's the other key. I meet women that say, I want to write a book. Maybe I've written it already. But if there's no deadline, if there's no hard date that you've put to that, you're just wishing and you just want to write a book. So that's okay that you want to write a book, but are you interested in getting it published? That's the key. I had an amazing conversation with a preventive doctor last week. And what she wants to do with her book, I think, is absolutely incredible. From her point of view, from she being a doctor in the field for decades, she wants people to understand the illness system. And that I feel is incredible. And God has really blessed me that all of my authors, my audience is women, correct? All of my authors are Black, and I say Black diverse women, because people feel that because we are all Black women, that we're all the same. We are so unique. We're so diverse, and that's one of my missions. One of the things that God has purposed me for is to help diverse Black women share their stories so that they can see that we're not just one canvas, hence the word mosaic, so they can see that we're also different. We come from different backgrounds, we experience different things. But at the end of the day, when you come together, you have this amazing, beautiful mosaic tile. So that's just a tangent that I just went on. But I do think that that's important because that is part of my purpose is to really and truly amplify diverse Black women's voices. But let's get back to the deadline. So if you don't have a deadline, you have no real clue of making this a reality. And I may step on a few people's toes, and that's okay because you do want someone to tell you the truth. You don't want someone to give you fluff when it comes to putting your words out. Because when you are publishing a book, it is an investment. It's an investment in your time, it is an investment in money. So it is an investment. And whenever we invest, we're looking to get something back, hence the word investment, right? So if you don't have a hard date deadline for yourself, then it's really not, you really don't want to get this book out, right? So my very first project, I created a system where my first book was with 8 other women, which was an incredible success. And the intention going in for us to be #1 best-selling published authors. Did I know what that meant? No, I didn't. I just knew that if I'm going to do this thing, I want to be successful, right? And when you reach the pinnacle of best-selling author, you've achieved a level of success. Did I know what will come on the backside of that? No, I didn't. Did I know that I'll be helping women publish their book? No, no, that was not in the plan. But God listens, and the universe opened up, and within 24 hours of the book launch, we became #1 best-selling authors. So I'll share a few tips, like I said, with you on the journey, which my tips are going to be a little bit different than others. Like I said, just write. I am telling you to just write. And when I say just write, take on this challenge. Maybe start the challenge Monday or over the next 5 days. Start to write something intentional with the topics that I'm going to give you. And you can choose from others, right? But the key is so that over the next 5 days, over the next 5 days, consistent time block, you are writing consistently. That's really the key, is to write consistently, because it's just like anything else. Don't think that you can go from not writing at all. When I say not writing at all, we write every day. But in terms of getting out a manuscript, in terms of you now really collecting your thoughts, because that's really what it is. Even if it's something from your experience, it's you collecting your thoughts and now putting this down. So what I like to tell my new authors, and I love working with new authors, because it is such a brag moment, and brag stands for being responsible for amplifying God's gifts. It is such a brag moment because you go from this idea. And like I said, I've met women in my first book project. The oldest woman in that book project was in her 70s. And she's always wanted to be an author from the time she was 16. But she had a child at 15. And so the world wrote her off. And it took her how many decades for her to be a published #1 best-selling author, right? And so those are the things that really and truly light me up, because now women get to fulfill their goal. So just write. So in terms of write, anyone that follows me know that I love acronyms. I love to break things down. Why? So that you can get, I look at it as an easy system, right? So the word write, you're going to schedule yourself maybe 10 minutes or 5 minutes a day to just write in whatever it is that you want to write about. And maybe in the first part, you might just start to do some brain dumping. Um, and you can start on simple things like, maybe start on childhood. Maybe you can start on childhood, or maybe you can start on a vacation that you took that you really enjoyed. Maybe you can take a snippet from a part in your life that was celebratory, or you can take another part in your life that was maybe challenging. And so as you break this out for the next 5 days, you're unpacking some things for yourself. And then towards the end, you can see how you overcome that thing, right? Because maybe whatever that challenge that you had in your life, maybe for you, you looked at that as an obstacle. And I truly believe with everything in me that somehow God is just this huge comedian for me, right? Because he gives us these things that we go through. And as we're going through it, we have no earthly idea of why. We have no earthly idea as we're going through the passage. Well, God, why are you doing this thing? But as we get over it, and everything is a lesson, there is not one thing that you've gone through that is not a lesson. And that lesson for you, I feel, is selfish if you don't share that with somebody else. So take something from your life, take a story, Take a sentence, take a word, something you're thinking about today, you thought about yesterday, something within the last week, a situation that made you chuckle. You went to the grocery store, something you were watching on TV, one of your favorite movies. Take that and now start to frame this around it. So over the next 5 days, just start to write 10 to 5 minutes. Now, the R stands for reality. So you're writing from your reality. So keep your blinders on where it is fiction or nonfiction. It is your reality. Let me say this when I say your reality. I run into first time authors that they are sharing their story from their perspective. And a lot of times, believe it or not, women want to stop in the middle of the project. I can't do this. I don't want my mom, my grandma, my husband, my aunts, my kids, my coworkers. I don't want them to read this. Well, number one, you can change names. That's one of the biggest things that people don't realize. You can change names. You can change up the situation, and that's kind of why we're here in the background to kind of help you with that editing process. But I want you to leave here today for you to know that it is your reality. Keep those blinders on when you are writing. If you don't decide to go with Mosaic to help you, keep those blinders on when you are writing. I know that that may be easier said than done, but trust me, because you're going to be coming from your perspective. Your perspective matters. These are your words. These are not your mom's, your husband's, your children's, your coworker, your boss. It's not them. It's not your fifth grade teacher. It's not your old classmates, your college mates. It's not any of them. It's your perspective. And trust me, here at Mosaic Publishing, your perspective matters. Why? Because you need to keep these words authentic to you. You don't want to pick up something that you read, and I had an author that did that. I had an author that, and please understand, any of these uh, tips, suggestions that I'm going through, I am going through these because these are things that I've lived, experienced, coach women through. So I had an author that was writing her part, and ironically let her husband read it. And her husband said, "No, you're not going to submit this. Change it up." And then after the book was published, she said, "You know something, Leslie, that's not what I wanted to write." I would not have known that, right? You need to remember, I would not have known that. I got that from her. But at the end, she said, this is not what I wanted to write. You want your words to be lasting legacies. That's another thing that we talk about here is we talk about legacy. You want your words to be lasting legacy. Hence the book that we did during the pandemic, the International Day of the Girl, A Walk in Our Life, the pandemic edition. And it's so interesting about that book. I've had several companies call me on that book, inviting me to book fairs for that book. And that book was definitely God divine download. And that book was, as we went through this pandemic, none of us knew what would be on the other side. We're now 4 years post-pandemic, right? But as we were going through it, we didn't know what would be post-pandemic. And so this was a collection of stories for women to share how they felt, what they were going through at that time. And that's legacy. Why? Because that book has now been translated into an audiobook. And that book will be around for my children, my children's children, children's children, generations, and the other women that was a part of that project as well. And so what that will give other women and other people, Let's say, for instance, there's another pandemic 100 years from now. But the hope and the mission for that is from every woman writing from their reality, that 100 years, 500 years, however long, because the book is also in libraries as well, as far as Texas, and I'm here in Florida, that can give someone else some hope because of every woman's reality. So your reality matters, right? So that's the R. The I is inspiration. You are an inspiration to others. However, here's a twist, that if you're the first person you need to inspire is yourself, right? So I know we hear that, we're all unique, and we hear a lot about outward facing, and we hear a lot about inspiring others. But in this writing process, you need to inspire yourself, right? And when I say inspire yourself, is this writing process is all about you. Remember, I said at the very beginning that I'm not like anyone else that you're going to follow when it comes to how to write your book, because I'm not going to talk about the mechanics of it. I don't feel that all that is important. Everything for me is here. So, in terms of the inspiration, find a space that will inspire you with your story. You need to be in a space where, whatever that space is for you, if you are someone that you want to have rock music going on, and that's going to inspire you for them 5 to 10 minutes a day, knock yourself out. If you're someone that you write better on the subway or on the bus or carpooling, whatever it is, find that space for you. We're all different. Not everyone wants to be in a quiet space. So you're not going to hear me say find a quiet space. You're going to hear me find a space to inspire you, because that's the most important. If you're not inspired, you're not going to be authentic with your words. And that's what we're looking for. Think of every single author that you've picked up their book. What were you looking for? You were looking for a transformation from their authenticity. That's what you're looking for. That's why we pick up books. So why do you think that you're any different? When people pick up your book, they're looking for a transformation from your authenticity. So let's not forget that. So we've gone through the W, we've gone through the R, we've gone through the I. And so if your environment may not be what you're looking for at home, find a spot. I know you have people that like to write in the park. Will be in an open air park and just with their legs crossed and just start to write. Find whatever your environment is. If you need to get out the house, go somewhere, take a drive. I like the water. Take a drive to the beach, whatever it is, find that for you. And as we're going through these, right, I hope that you're taking some notes with this, and especially with the inspiration part. And I want you to really start doing some mind mapping, doing some maybe some brain dumping, and really start asking yourself, ooh, what really inspires me? I just shared with you, the water inspires me. So for me, um, where I live, I open the back of my door, my sliding glass door, and I'm overlooking a lake. That's all I need, right? So find that thing. Start to jot that down today as to what is that thing that inspires you, because that is the meat of it. You can't start to write and really start to get down and write based on your reality if you're not inspired. The next one is a T for your testimony, right? Your test or your declaration of any type is a testimony to help someone. As you know, the word test is in testimony. So as you are going through the writing journey and you're writing down your words and you're being authentic because you're writing from your reality and you're in an inspirational spot and you are highly inspired, just remember that even if you inspire one person, that's really all you need, is to be able to inspire one person. When my very first book came out, I wrote on colorism. I wrote on weight bullying. And I'm not sure what the other one, I can't remember what the other one was. That book came out in 2018. And to my surprise, I had a gentleman come up to me and say, "Thank you for that. I thought that I was the only one." And that was based on the colorism part. God, did I know? Did I even think that it would inspire a man? No, I didn't. When I was writing my section, I think I was doing it at midnight because I'm one of those that um, work best when the house is quiet, but not to burn the midnight oil on both ends. I'm a napper. So because I'm a napper, I can nap during the day and then I'll be up late. So I'm not one that's trying to do a 24-hour, 23-hour. That's not how I'm built. I would be up late, but trust me, there's some sleep going on. So I do understand the health benefits of sleeping. But did I understand that or even think that I would inspire a man based on colorism? No, no. Did I even think that other women would resonate with that? Nope. Mm-mm. I was really writing for my reality to get that out. That's the only reason why I was doing it, to get it out. And surprisingly, that book has gone to Mexico. We sold books in Paris. We sold books in the UK. That book has been all over the world. But your test is your testimony, and somebody needs that inspiration. And then last, we're going to touch on energy. Energy is so important, right? So watch your vibe, your flow as you get ready to start writing. Although this is the last of the framework, it is one of the most important parts of the framework. You got to watch your vibe. As you are going into your 5 minutes or your 10 minutes, set your timer. As you're going into that, make sure that, and all of that is part of the environment as well. So make sure that your vibe is high, your energy is high, your whatever is at an optimal for you to be able to pour. And also, when I say that, right, I was watching um, something with Oprah and Ayanna Van Zandt. I've always admired that lady, and she disappeared for a while, and now she's back, and so I follow her. And one of the things that she said, which I'd never heard before, is she said is that from we want to pour from our saucer because what's in the cup is for you, right? But I think we've always heard it that you want to pour from your cup or don't pour from an empty cup. But what she's saying is just pour from that saucer because what's in there is for you. So I hope you were able to take those tips, write those tips down, and I'm just going to go through just a few suggestions of some things that you can write on every day to kind of help you, right? So day one, as we talked about, as I talked earlier, a family memory. And here's the key. When you're writing, please don't be an English teacher. You don't need to correct your grammar or anything like that, right? Because that is going to block your flow. And believe you me, even authors that I work with currently, that's something that I have to tell them, right? So you hired us to help you. Let us help you. Just write. That's all we want you to do is write. Because I just need you to get it out your head. That's all I want you to do is write. I don't need you to do nothing else. We'll do the rest, right? So Write on a family memory, um, something that, whatever that memory is, but don't worry about grammar. Just continue to write, because all you're doing is really starting that muscle of writing, because this is the first time you're really dedicating that. And I always say, give yourself grace. Grace is a key, one day at a time. And here's what you're going to do too. Those that follow me know that I love to back it up with a celebration. So if you're going to say, I'm going to write for 5 days, and after day one, you say, I'm going to do 5 minutes for 5 days consistently, right? So after day one, you set your timer, you're in a good space, you feel good, your energy is good, you're going to celebrate that. However you want to celebrate, however you want to share it on social. Um, this is the first time I've ever sat down and written for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm excited. However you want to celebrate, but mark that, right? And also get excited for tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be day two. And so what we're excited for you that you went through day one. Why? Here's the other part to that. You made a promise to yourself. So you made a promise to yourself that you're going to write for 5 days. And in that promise for yourself, day one, you did day one. So you're going to celebrate that. You're going to celebrate that you made a promise to yourself. And believe you me, as you go through this process, you will see that at the end of this process, you'll be able to build yourself your own framework that whenever you make a promise to yourself, you're going to do whatever it is so that you can start keeping that promise. So we're not going to worry about last week, 2 weeks ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago that we said we're going to write a book. We're worrying about it now. Like I've said, let me put my hand up. I was one that I was going to write a book every year, like a broken, I'm write a book. Yep, I'm going to write a book. I'll even do it different. I got some different words. Yep, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. I could have made a song from that. But had I gotten stuck in the fact that I was saying that for 20 years, I would not be here with you. I would not be celebrating over 50 something women across the world, helping them deliver their stories. Would not be celebrating one of our recent bestsellers from last night, right? Had I got stuck in that story. So let's not get stuck in that story. We're moving forward. So day two, maybe on day two, you're going to write something about your first school memory, right? And so you're going to write just a little bit more. You're going to add just a little bit more. You're going to add some descriptions to that, make it a little bit more flowery. But whatever the commitment is that you said earlier, so if you said it that you're doing 10, do 10. And if you said it that you're doing 5, do 5, right? We want to keep that promise to ourselves. Day 3, you're going to write about your hometown, whether that's your city, your state, your country, any combination of that. And on this one, we're gonna just go a little bit deeper. We're gonna go a little deeper. We're gonna talk about some emotions. We're gonna bring some emotions in that one. So the day 2, we brought in some little description. Day 3, we're gonna add some emotion, right? And remember, at the end of every day, you're gonna celebrate. Whether you're gonna journal that thing, however you're going to celebrate that thing, right? Day 4, you're going to write if you have a favorite pet or if you had a favorite pet. You're going to write about that, or some kind of funny memory, something that make you chuckle, something that when you think about that, no matter how long ago that was, it could have been 10 years ago, or depends on how old you are, it could have been 30 years ago. But whatever it is, that whenever you think about that thing, it just makes you laugh. So you're going to write about that funny memory. And like I said, we're being consistent, right? Because that we day 4. So day 4, because remember day 3 we kind of brought in some emotions. So that's why day 3 we brought in emotions. So that's why day 4 we can be a little bit more colorful, writing something funny. And so now day 5, just think about it. You've been writing consistently now for 4 days straight. 4 days straight. and want to celebrate that. And so now on your last day, you're going to pull all these things together. You're going to pull all these things together. You're going to edit it. You're going to look at your work. You're going to make some comments. Grace. We're not going to speak anything negative, right? We're going to look over it. We're going to edit it. We're going to add some additional context to it. And guess what? Voila, you got a little mini story, right? And so celebrate that you've done 5 days of just writing and now you have a great draft to something incredible, right? So you've now competed and you've gone into this amazing exercise. And now you've shown yourself that one, you hear people talk about writer's block. So now you've shown yourself that, nope, I'm not blocked. There's nothing that was blocking you. And you've shown yourself that you've completed this incredible mini story that has descriptions, that have emotions, that has some humor. And also, we can throw in some extra. You can even put in a quote or two. You can develop a quote for yourself and throw that in too. So, those are the things that I wanted to talk about this morning. And if there's anyone that has any questions for me as we went through this, I hope that, like I said, those that are going to come back and listen to the replay, if any of you go through this process, I would love to know how this process served you. But as you go through this process, I wanted to break it down, make this process very simple. It's not meant to be difficult because it's meant for you to have a process where you can bring out your words, have a process where you can share your experience, your testimony, your story, whatever it is, because what even if it's fiction, right? So no matter what it is, it's coming from here, and your story matters. Your words matters. So with that, we will be back next week. We're going to go live twice a month. We'll be back next week with an incredible guest. Her name is Rochelle Slay Hemingway. And is it next week? No, not next week. I made a mistake. It's the end of the month, the 31st, I believe. So in 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, we're gonna be back here Saturday morning at 10 a.m. For those of you that are able to come back and watch it live or catch the replay. But as I get ready to wrap up today, thank you all for joining us. Be sure to like and subscribe and share this. If you find that this was helpful for you, be sure to share this with others, because as we're going through this today, I think I might develop a challenge to help others with writing, because like I said, I don't believe in all the other mechanics of it. You know, your people that's going to tell you, oh, you need to lay it out this way, and you need to make sure you got the table of contents, and you got the no, you're not going to hear that from me. You're not going to hear that from me, because one of the first things that I do when I meet with someone is I kind of want to know, so what is it that you want to write about? That's the most important thing. What is it that you want to write about? And as you write, as you do the brain dumping, because you are the expert in whatever it is, you are the expert in your life. If it's a life story, you are the expert in, if it was a journey that you went through, you're the expert. So I just need to get the material from you. We can do all the rest, right? We can format that and do all that. We can do all of that ourselves, right? So we can do that at Mosaic Publishing in the background. But the most important thing is for you to start writing. So once again, thank you all for joining us today on another episode. I believe this is episode 3 on another episode here at Mosaic Sparks. For those that are going to come back, please let us know where you are joining from. hashtag replay, and go ahead and put what city and state that you are watching from, or what country that you're watching us from. So until next time, thank you all for joining us. Bye for now. And I hope that this was an incredible value of your time. So until next time, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Bye bye.